All right, how you guys doing? Very interesting. I hadn't noticed that OBS will send out like the last 30 seconds because I was goofing around with going through different things I was looking at, and I saw that that went through at the very end. So that's interesting because I was not aware of that. Um, what's going on, guys? We got quite a lot to talk about. Something to laugh at later once I'm through stuff. I want to go really fast and look back at the Xfinity Series at Darlington, um, the first one. If I can find it. I don't remember where I had it at. Oh, this is on my old sheets. So earlier this year, now I can't remember exactly what panned out. All I remember leaving this race, and all that sticks in my head is, holy shit, I made money, and I could have lost it all if Nemechek actually like wrecks correctly and doesn't corrade back into traffic. Like when he gets spun off a two, he hits the inside wall and he just never hits the brake. He never hits the brake at all. And so he finishes in fourth or third or whatever. If he like hits the wall, he finishes like 37th. And so earlier this year, I was, and spoiler alert, I'm pretty much doing the same thing again. I was super high on Nemechek. We see that, Ty Dillon was in this situation here in the spring. Kaz Grala is in a very similar situation here. We do have more people around this area. We have Larson, Creed, and then you have quite a lot of value coming from this kind of same range. And then you have, Josh Williams in the back. You have Chad Fincham in the back. But in the spring, this is how I really approached it. And I'm looking to pretty much do the same thing again today. So from where I'm at, from where I'm looking at stuff, I'm on the Nemechek bandwagon, okay? I think Nemechek is going to compete for the win. I think he's going to certainly lead laps. I like the discount we get off of Hamlin with Nemechek. And so, as I do per usual, whether it's Counter-Strike, which if you can hear it, let me know if it's coming through because I do have it on. Because I do want to pay attention to the second map. We got one match left. And I don't think I'm going to win the contest, but I'll certainly have quite a few finish in the top 40, but I am curious. I fucking hate best of threes or three gamers. It's really hard for me to like really pay attention to how things are going on with so many different moving things. But what I'm doing today is I'm going to play 100% Nemechek, probably doing 10 lines. I'm going to use a combination of him with Hamlin and him with Larson. Now, I think Stevie, possibly other people, are higher on Hamlin and Larson, so we're probably going to see. This is where I'm assuming that Larson is probably either, maybe not percentage-wise, the most owned driver, because I think that might migrate to Hamlin, but he's certainly going to be top three, and the reason being is because we have a lot of Nemechek, Larson lines. We have a lot of Hamlin and Larson lines. Both of these types of lines, let me put this over here. Oh, sorry, I X'd out of this. Hold on. Start on my rants. So this was the spring race, real quick. Sorry, I'm kind of going over the same stuff I just went over. This is where I was at, super high on Nemechek. This is very similar to Grala play. We're seeing a lot of value in the same range. As I said, it's kind of different in here because we have Creed, we have Larson. In this range today, we have like Williams back here and stuff like that. But I was super high on Nemechek and Ty Dillon, and I think that gives a good idea of where I'm wanting to go. Anyway, now that we're back here, we're seeing that we have a lot. Also, I need to pay attention to when this race starts. We have 57 minutes until the slate starts. I'm probably going to be live until like 2:15. To give you guys at least like another half hour to goof around and build whatever you want. Both of these types of lineups converge on. At least I would think that they converge in on Creed. Not necessarily all of them, but we're seeing that at least projection wise, regardless if you're going Larson, Nemechek, Larson, Hamlin, it's laying on Creed, and it's most likely then going to Grala. I want to get through this before I start ranting. before we start looking at practice data, because today's just been hilarious in like 4 different ways. So for me, the way that if we rank these in terms of where I think they're going to come in popular wise, I think the first one is probably Hamlin, Larson. I know I'm kind of repeating myself. The next one I think is Nemechek, Larson. I need to let's bold these things up so people can see them. Hold on. I forgot these are different. Let's get these bold so people can see them. I think it is going to be probably in this range. And then what I think has a pretty high likelihood of at least competing today, that should be in the third category in here, that would probably get you different if you feel the need to it, is playing these 3 together. Probably popular-wise or compared to what the field is going to do, I think this is probably going to be 1. I think this is going to be 2. It's certainly a distant 3 or 4. But these are the builds that are going to go there. As I said, it most likely goes to Creed. It goes to Gralla as well. What I'm seeing when I was building, today's there's not really a lot of places to go. Okay, when you look at the back half of the field, let's really talk about like Brennan Poole back to Patrick real fast. Like, Patrick's not going anywhere. Williams clearly having issues with the setup, not a car related. They were just scraping the splitter a lot. This car was not handling well. You can look at that in 2 different ways. You can look at it as, well, they didn't arrive off the trailer well, but usually DJM and Josh Williams are able to make adjustments. As I just happened to say in the preview video at Darlington, there's a lot of variance in how people ran at this track, and I even used Williams as an example. We've seen him run incredibly well here. We've seen him run poorly here. He's 5,500. I got him projected for 26 points. I think he could easily hit 32 points. I wouldn't be shocked if he stays at 24. Maybe people are arguing to play Williams. I think there's different people that make a lot of sense here in his price range. We'll talk about that as we continue to go through. Ellis, Perkins, Joe Graff Jr. is popping off as well. Fincham and Mills to Poole. So when we look at these individuals here, I'm going to include Ellis. We're seeing that a lot of people are talking about, or I would assume if they're running sims or whatever, if they're like, when I just look at lineup buildings, it's looking like it's going to go, Hamlin, Larson, Creed, Gralla, and then possibly Williams as like the value. If you're okay with that line, you want to get different, I would suggest just getting the Ellis. I'm personally not playing Joe Graff Jr. This is a track that he has been pretty poor at. We're seeing Poole with JD Motorsports up and down. They not necessarily adversity, but they need people to wreck. Typically, it's at Darlington. The only way these guys are making positions gained is if people up front wreck out. On speed alone, these guys are not passing people at all. Sorry, I'm trying to think of stuff. Okay, we're just gonna say it. I'm gonna bring up the practice data. We'll talk about it later. Fuck it, real fast. Like, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, the whole highline betting stuff, and that's been a fucking historical mess. I got to show you something real fast that I think is one of the funniest thing ever. So, yet again, 2 weeks ago, if you guys are familiar, also very quickly, thank you for the 55 of you guys being here and watching my stuff and everything. And I'll read the chat in a minute. A couple weeks ago, I was like, hey, I joined the Highline Betting Discord. I thought it was pretty hilarious because the guy was like, complaining about the work and that people would have to pay him. I was just like, look, nobody's going to pay you for this work. Like, pulling data is just something you're going to do. It's time consuming. It shouldn't be taking you hours and hours, but it's going to take some of your time. Nobody's going to pay for it. Just move on. So I got kicked from that Discord like maybe 4 days after I was in there. Okay, and then there's a whole big thing with AD and Highline. I guess AD wasn't even fucking pulling data. He was just getting it from source. What fucking sources are you talking about, dude? The source is NASCAR. You just pull it from NASCAR. Anything past that means you're just taking other people's stuff, which is fine. It's DFS. People are going to do that anyway. But one, just say that too. So I threw in the tweet that, I got kicked out And then somebody sent me this picture, which is fucking hysterical. Somebody sent me this. Like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever read in my life. Dude, I wish he would have sent me this when we were live right now so you could have seen my reaction. I think this is one of the fucking funniest things I've ever read in my life. You know, you got to be doing, because I get negative stuff here and there. It's usually related to how I look, or like picks and stuff on like the main casual videos if people aren't into like game theory and stuff. But I really don't get like negative criticism. In terms of content, in terms of picks, in terms of projections. So like, you got to be doing pretty fucking good to have this be what people bitch about and complain about. I think that's hilarious. I think this is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my life. I mentioned in my Discord when I was looking at, I think I love this practice session. Yes, everybody was in dirty air. Yes, there was a lot of cars on track, but everybody was in dirty air. I understand that. Okay, I'm going really, really fast today. This practice session is good in terms of a visual representation of what everybody's going to kind of run into. I think that's why Josh Williams had so much issue, because he just had air being, dumped on the front of the car. We saw that, Matt Mills had to make the race, so we see him clearly just running Q trim, trying to make the race and stuff. But when we look at this practice session in as a whole, yes, Hemrick was fast. When you're just looking at the laps by laps, they're fast. But like, clearly, like, Hill has a great car. I mean, this is sorted by average laps. But like Sam Mayer, who led laps in the spring, is gonna have a fast car. We know Larson's gonna have a fast car. We know Creed is gonna have a fast car. When I come to Darlington, I want to see two things, and I want to see a guy that is truly like pushed himself. Like, I'm honestly encouraged by people who get in the wall in terms of potential lap leaders, because that means they're pushing it. That means like they're at the edge. Like, honestly, Creed spinning doesn't concern me at all. In fact, I would almost rather see that in practice than him not do that, than him not get in the wall in practice than do it in the fucking race. Okay, I think that's why Creed is going to be so popular. We all know it's going to be fast. And so when we look at this practice session and we look at the times, then we look at where they queue. The way I would look at this race, entering this race, and especially now that we have like data all over the place with practice speed, because everybody was out, people were in traffic and stuff like that. This is a race to where I would look at how people have done at intermediate tracks in general, and then I'd honestly look at their Q lap, because that's pretty much the raw speed, and we really don't have Q cars anymore. Matt Mills had to make the race, but we really don't have Q trim anymore. Like, they start the race in those cars, okay? And so then you can look at practice data of like, okay, where's Nemechek at? Nemechek, oh man, he's just fucking slow. This is terrible, 154.9s. But like, these laps are consistent. Clearly he was in traffic, but these aren't bad laps, and it's reinforced by the fact of how fast he's been at intermediate tracks, and it's reinforced by the fact that he got pole. Even if Hamlin gets it or whatever, we know Nemechek's gonna have a fast car. So this is certainly a practice session that I am understanding the context of the practice, but it's not really like the point that I'm really focusing on. The reason I'm saying that is when I was looking at the guys in the back here, we have Ellis, as I said, we had Joe Graff Jr. and Brennan Poole. Joe Graff, I'm just not going to play. We haven't seen the speed of intermediate tracks that makes me or tells me that I need to play this man. When we look at Josh Williams starting 37th, as I said, yeah, sure, the car is slow, but I think it was due to the setup that they have. I think it was due to the practice conditions that they were in. I would like to believe, or I would lean towards them getting this car better. And it really stems to the chalk lines here. Like, really, really popular lines are going to go Williams. I am very interested in playing Ryan Ellis here. Not going to have speed. We understand that. But, hey, maybe Williams gets in trouble. Hey, maybe we do end up just wrecking guys left and right. I'm actually kind of somewhat interested in possibly Timmy Hill. I haven't finished all the lines, but I think it's worthy if you have a chalky line to possibly getting off Williams, because there is a lot of stuff showing that he should probably end up running well today. I haven't read or I haven't seen the Let me look at good old Bob Pockrass. What are we saying here? Is Casgralla doing a drive-through? Is he going to the rear? I'm not concerned about it. As I said, it goes back to, yes, Casgralla qualified 30th. Not good. Casgralla is pretty slow here. Not good. But like slow in average times. When we look like he's on par with the fast cars, and he's been on par with them at the other tracks this year. We've seen him getting better and better. We've seen Sam Hunt specifically get better, and the fact that it has like two guys that can actually fucking drive in these cars. We don't have like some idiotic drivers in here. It's Gralla and Corey in both these cars. Like, that's actually good feedback from both drivers. When you have like some dunce in the 24, like, Spotter, we're just not fast. It's like, dude, we're not fast because you're slow. The fact that these guys are both like competent drivers, and the fact that Corey has speed and the cars are very similar in terms of like where they're at in speed. Certainly at the start of runs, clearly Gralla got into traffic and stuff like that. But I think that's really what's bringing Gralla to have this speed. I know he qualified 30th, but typically that's what we would prefer that. Like, we would want to play Gralla at like Charlotte when he's starting 30th. We'd want to do that with the Sam Hunt car. And so I think Gralla makes a lot of sense today. I'm probably going to be overweight on Gralla, as I did with Ty Dillon, not because it just so happens to end up being this way, but that's why I feel comfortable. That's why I showed you the sheets from earlier in the year. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up. Let's see what you guys are saying, then we can start going through stuff. What's going on? What's going on, Kyle? Where are we at here? What to do with Creed? I mean, I'm perfectly fine with playing him. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. What's going on, Tim? Gralla pass through. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. I'm sure we'll find it out eventually. Let me just look it up, since we're busy reporting on this Cup Series crap. This Cup Series crap. Let's see. News about Casgralla prop. Did he report that he like had issues yesterday in? Oh, it did not. The 26th not passed on his third attempt due to time constraints. NASCAR will inspect the car again on Saturday morning. Oh yeah, so nobody's just reported on this. I lean towards he's gonna get the lap back, even if he does the pass through, which he might even go a lap down. But I'm not really concerned about that. If that's a concern that people have, so whatever. That's my stand on that. I'm not concerned about it. Everyone liked the video. Thank you, Kyle, for saying that. Not sure. Does anyone know? Nope. I guess not. I know nothing about NASCAR. Can somebody please give me Dan Rich? I normally don't do this, driver, but as it is, as we have stated, I'm not going to give you 6 drivers. But I tell you what, you are starting off pretty good. If you start off John Hunter Nemechek, Kyle Larson, Sheldon Creed, starting with those 3, the rest is on you. There's a low chance that you're not doing that. That's not you're not at least being half the field with that. Okay, now if Hamlin takes lead or your other 3 fuckos like get dumb, then maybe you don't cash. But that's where I would start, Dan. Yes, I am playing Nemechek. So if he has to do a pass through, would you? Yes, I would play Gralla. Mayer, Clements, Creed, Weatherman. Between those 2, you are going to have. I would have Creed and Weatherman end up projecting higher, but I'm glad that you brought up Mayer and Clements. And so also when we're looking at these lines here, and this is get 42 minutes until the slate locks, we're seeing a lot. At least I am seeing a lot of. I like Raja Caruth. I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. Maybe. I'm getting a lot of Raja in early stuff. It's also telling me Alfredo, which I don't agree with at all. It's telling me Clements as well. I think Clements is probably going to be a really popular play to go with these 3 on either one of these. This is why, like, yeah, this is very much a lineup-centric type of slate, man. Because if the public wants to go Hamlin-Larson, well, then I'm going to go, I am going Nemechek-Larson, or like Nemechek-Hamlin. If the public goes Nemechek-Larson, or Nemechek-Hamlin, well, then I've kind of already lost. Like, I don't really want to, I would really like to play Nemechek here without the ownership. I think Nemechek has a real chance of winning this race, and certainly leading like 40 to 60 laps, like on a bare min, like projection stuff. I'm going Nemechek. So with that said, I have to be very aware that even with Nemechek over Hamlin or whatever, we're still going to end up playing very similar lines. Larson, Creed, Williams, Clements, Williams, Alfredo, Williams, who's in the fucking 29 car? Jeb. Jeb's popping up a lot as well. And so, like, this, I think this type of slate rewards, like, one just not idiotic play, but one, like, just true one-off play. And I think Sam Mayer is one of those, because Sam has been good on the intermediate tracks. He led laps here in the spring, which I'm not just using the spring for everything. I think Austin Hill makes a ton of sense. I think Corey Heim makes a lot of sense as a one-off. I think, kind of going back here, that's why, like, I kind of want to get just an Ellis line to get different. I kind of want, like a Timmy Hill line to get different. Possibly a Jeb Burton, That's kind of where we're at, or where I'm at. I don't know. I might be kind of all over the place today, but that's kind of where I'm feeling. Let's see. I don't follow Alex. I don't know. I don't want to say that out loud. I feel like I'm being in a trap. I don't know what you're referring to, Trujillo. Are you good with 100%? I mean, check for 20. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. If you want to go 100% on people, go right ahead, man. I do that all the time. You have a favorite from 20th to 29. It's probably Clements, man. I think it's probably Clements for me. It's probably Clements for a lot of people. I think you should try to go Raja over that. But that's where I'm at. Very quickly, if you want to support me, support the work that I do, and support the fact that I guess I'm pissing people off by just wishing death upon drivers that I don't have in my own lineups, you can support me on Patreon, because it is the beginning of the month. $25. I know NFL's here, but that's mainly just basically tipping me, or not tipping because it's supporting, but it's like, I still do live shows for every single race. I'm going to do it for the rest of football season. That's just how it is. If you want to support me, you can go ahead and do that through the link in the description below, or you can just send me money on PayPal if you happen to win something today. That is always appreciated. That's on Burton and Cash. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on Burton that isn't like a negative towards Cash. Like, Burton, Clements are probably going to be the most popular guys there. And then probably, I'm guessing, Raja Caruth. But we'll see. That's kind of where I'm at. Thoughts on Herbst? Herbst probably makes a lot of sense if you're. I just haven't got to him as a one-off, like, to get that lineup different. But I think he makes a lot of sense, especially because he is really underpriced compared to what he has been able to do at intermediate tracks. If you remember at the start of the year, like, he was there when Custer wasn't, or when Custer was slowly getting caught up. Like, Herbst was there. Herbst has been like a top 9 contender. We do have the 4 Cup guys in here, which Chastain isn't a concern there. But that certainly pushes down everybody who's usually in the top 10, and all pushed them down, 3 to 4 positions. So does Herbst, riding or finishing 9th or 10th, get there today when he needs, nearly 40 points? What is that, 38 points or something? But yeah, it's like a one-off to get different. I would actually love Herbst for that. I would prefer to go Corey Heim, but that's just me because I'd like the discount between the two. But the same premise applies for Corey that I would give to Corey, or to Riley Herbst there. Any left for Chastain? No, Chastain fucking sucks ass. Why would we play Chastain in this DGM hunk of shit car? Let's notice something. Oh man, these guys are in traffic. Oh man, there's so many cars on the field. Whatever will we do? But the fast guys are still able to put down fast laps. We still have Larson flying fast on averages. We still have, I'm not playing Kyle Busch, but Kyle Busch still knows what he's doing. He's a race car driver. He understands what he's doing. Hamlin is right there. He knows what he's doing. And we get to this hunk of dog shit 91 machine. I mean, this isn't even close, my guys. We're running 150s, which is what we've always done in this car. It's not a shock, but like we are running high or mid 160s here. Chastain, what if he's in traffic? He's still slow. I mean, at some point you're going to have a situation where you get by the slow car. He pulled in early to get to work on this. Only ran 14 laps. He's off pace. And there's no reason to play Chastain today. Is Allgaier getting overlooked? Possibly. I'm not getting to him. I also want to bring this up really fast that there is no such thing as a high wear racetrack. It just doesn't exist. All these tracks are high wear racetracks now. Now, yes, some tracks wear more than others. You know, it is. I know Exponential always continues to go, and I didn't go to college, but when you look at the graph in terms of wear, it'd be wear in terms of age. You see that, you know, like right when the track starts, it's going to have the most amount of grip, not a lot of wear. And we see it, you know, certainly increase to what year it is to the amount of like, you know, wear and tear that it does. But it's not like a 90-degree incline. You know, it's a slow rise. And then once you continue to go, like it doesn't matter if you're, you know, at the very end of its life or like 6 years, 10 years before that. Once you pass a certain point, like high wear is going to be high wear. So when you look at Kansas, you look at Las Vegas, you look at Darlington. Yes, Darlington wears tires like crazy, but Las Vegas does that now. Kansas does that now. Texas, like, yes, it's a repave. And yes, there's one lane, but we see fall off at Texas too. You know, Charlotte no longer is not just, or no longer. We're seeing that Charlotte wears tires. Like everything is on the side of wearing tires now. You know, everybody was just like, oh, high wear racetrack just meant Auto Club in Darlington. Well, Auto Club doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, and then Darlington is there, but everybody else, all the other tracks are catching up. We're still seeing, you know, second and a half, 2 seconds being taken off. Hell, we see it at fucking Richmond. Like, and so when people break it up in terms of high wear racetracks, like, oh, Justin Allgaier is good at high wear racetracks. Well, every track is high wear now. Like, every track drops off pretty good now. And so, if you're considering Allgaier on that, I would be hesitant on it, because like everybody's good now, or everywhere's a highway racetrack now. Like we can just use that. We don't have to separate the tracks anymore. You can just use them, which I've been doing for years now. Like Dover, nobody considers Dover high wear racetrack, but you have a huge fall off at Dover. Like I haven't looked at separating highway racetracks, normal racetracks in a long time. Due to that, yes, Allgaier might be going overlooked, but he has to beat Larson. He has to beat Hamlin and Nemechek, which are the two favorites to win this race. I would personally just not get to Allgaier. I would probably play Sam Mayer before I did Allgaier. That's just me. Do I like Klickerman today? I'm not getting to that. Southern Sunset Tickets. I just don't follow the I don't chase tickets. I don't chase the big events in NASCAR, man. That just gets expensive. At least where I stand, I would much rather like throw $300 to $400 at just a regular contest than a qualifier that only works if I finished first in it. So for me, I never chase NASCAR like final tickets or like King of the Beach or whatever the fuck it used to be called, King of the Speedway. I don't chase that. That's just not my MO. I know Maccabee, I know Rotodoc, I know a lot of the other guys do that. I just personally don't do that. It's kind of like best ball. You saw me rant shortly on best ball. You kind of know my opinion on that. I don't do best ball because I think the return on investment is poor. I don't like the fact that I have to wait like fucking 8 months for that shit to be done. More like 6, but you know what I mean. Like if you finish well in best ball, yeah, you're gonna make a shitload of money, but like it's just such a piss poor return. That's kind of where I'm at. I only chase it, at plate races and stuff. And I didn't even chase this last week at Daytona. So I personally don't chase the big ones. And I think you're talking about the entry into 555 one tomorrow. Maybe not even like a cutoff. I don't know what it is. That's just my opinion on that. Do you like Argyle and Bush today? No, Tyler, I do not. I'm going to WWE page. Payback. Hey, BVP, thank you very much for the support. I see you got the... No, you took off the RSP for a while now. Either way, BVP, thank you very much for the support. I think that's about where I'm at. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thoughts on Hemrick? Not playing Hemrick. I don't see a reason to play Hemrick at all. This track is going to be dictated by what Nemechek does, by what Hamlin does, and by, honestly, what Larson does. Larson was not happy with his car in practice. This is my little advice to you. Don't listen to SiriusXM NASCAR Radio for driver interviews or, like, any info whatsoever, because that shit is a fucking scam and a fucking lie. And if you're watching TV, you might think I'm crazy, but, like, every guy is going to come on. People have messaged me and be like, hey, they talked to Joe Graff Jr. today. What do you think about his interview? And I go back and I listen, and it's like Joe Graff Jr.'s like, I feel really good about my car today. We are bringing a fast 36 machine. RSS Racing is putting a lot of time into this car, and then the motherfucker runs 31st. Like, I know you got to go say that, Ryan or Joe Graff Jr., but, like, guys, like, stop listening to that stuff. With Larson, clearly unhappy with the car in practice, but it's Larson in a Hendricks-supported machine in the Xfinity Series at Darlington. Yeah, he might not like the car. Larson, worst case scenario, is going to finish 6th today. Not going to be optimal, but it's not going to kill you. It just depends. Does he get the lead? At what point does he get the lead? They're going to try and flip-flop the stage or do something. Like, if there's a yellow early, Nemechek's compete for the championship. He has to go. Well, this might be the cutoff place. I don't even fucking care. Nemechek is, like, here to actually race for standings and, like, has way more to race for than just this one race. If there's a very much situation to where it would benefit Larson to short pit the field, he is going to do that. I would be shocked if Larson doesn't get the lead at some point in this race today. But that's my rant on interviews and stuff. Poole, Hill, or Perkins. Between those three, it would be Poole. But that's really about it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for supporting me and being here and making shit like this happen, because this is hilarious. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Cup Series live show. And, see you guys later. Best of luck today, and peace out. See you.